Hi guys, it's Abby. This video is on Scorpio Progress Moon. This is very different than natal moon, so if you're here for natal Scorpio moon, it's not here. You're not going to find what you're looking for. I'm not going to go into what progressions are in this video because I really already dealt with that. But suffice it to say that your progress chart is your natal chart sped up one day for every year you've been alive. It represents how you're currently using your natal potential and kind of like your evolving self. You know, you're not the same person you were when you were born. So why are these little orbs like flying around here? Do you see this? The progress moon specifically takes anywhere from 1 to 5 years to get through a house, depending on how large the house is. What it represents is your evolving needs and relationships. And it also describes your general emotional climate for the 2.5 years that it's in whatever sign. I wrote a very detailed blog post about Scorpio Progress Moon in the past. I'm going to leave a link to that as well below because it's worth a read if you want to get more into the specifics. I really want to talk about what happened with my Scorpio Moon progression, which was horrifying. I might as well be honest. Scorpio Moon progression is not easy. It is hard for pretty much everyone except if you have natal Scorpio moon, then you might handle it better. Or if you have a water moon, whether it's going through Scorpio in your chart or your 8th house, it's going to be hard. Mine went through both at the same time because Scorpio is lined up with my 8th house in my natal chart, so it was extremely challenging. But also because I have a natal Leo moon, I might just be being dramatic. I might be exaggerating. Like I might go through my whole spiel and then you're like, that wasn't that bad. Like, grow up. When you go from Progress Moon in Libra to Progress Moon in Scorpio, everything changes. When your Progress Moon was in Libra, you were focused on relationships, give and take, very surface stuff. When it goes into Scorpio, usually something happens in your life that triggers you needing way deeper connections with people and deeper truth. You can have a trauma. I'm not going to like sugarcoat this. And this goes for moon going from 7th house to 8th house as well. When my Progress Moon went from my 7th house to my 8th house, I immediately got into a huge amount of debt because I bought my condo. So I immediately had a mortgage and it was the largest debt I'd ever had. 8th house represents your shared assets. So that has to do with partners, funds, taxes, because it's you and the government, loans, you and a bank, so that's a mortgage. Other thing about 7th house to 8th house or Libra to Scorpio progression is that relationships will start to fall away. If it's not something that's a deep connection, if it's not something that can take a stronger intimacy, because Scorpio and 8th house has to do with intimacy, physical and emotional, so deepening connections. If it can't withstand that, it will just fall away. Right when my Progress Moon entered Scorpio, my boyfriend broke up with me, and it was like 2 weeks after I moved into this place. It was extremely hard for me. I didn't understand why he did it. I still don't really know, but I also have moved on. But it was a huge shocker, and I didn't let it show. Part of being in a Scorpio Progress Moon phase is you are in survival mode all the time, which means you're going to be on lockdown. Even though Scorpio is a water sign, which is emotional and its feelings run extremely deep, you're going to not be letting people see it because you're going to not want anyone to see the chinks in your armor. You know, like you're not going to want people to see your vulnerabilities. So I was in a very vulnerable position right before he broke up with me. Obviously, I was having this huge life change buying this place. At that time, I was also being bullied at work by someone. I don't know if that was her intention. She was a Scorpio, but it was horrible for me. Like I was having panic attacks. Like I'm almost having one just thinking about that time right now. I started developing this anxiety issue that I had never had before, but I was having like panic attacks every day going into the bathroom. He broke up with me. And, you know, like I said, Libra to Scorpio, the relationships that aren't real fall away. So after that, I kept it together for about a month, and then I basically had a nervous breakdown. I laugh about it now, but I had a psychiatrist and a therapist, and they put me on a lot of different medications, and I was out of work for 2 months dealing with this mental issue that I had. Basically at work, someone who I thought was my friend, again, a Scorpio, who I thought was my friend, was telling people that I was just like looking for a new job or just like taking a break. And I was like, how would you even know? Like, you don't talk to me, whatever. I took my time, and then after 2 months, I went back to work, and I was okay for a little while. And then at the end of the year, my employer put me on like a probationary period because they said that I had taken too much time, even though most of the time that I had taken was due to this increasing issue that I had with panic attacks and anxiety and things that are definitely medically valid. They put me on this very long probationary period. It was from January to April, like end of April, and I couldn't be a minute late. I'm legitimately saying, like, I couldn't be 1 minute late or be out at all, or I would be fired from my job that I'd had for 7 years at this point. There's more. So in the new year, I think it was February, I had this 1 week where a pipe burst over my condo and destroyed a lot of things. And then I found out that my cat, my little cat, had cancer and she was going to die, like, within a week or two, and sure enough, in 2 weeks, she was dead. I wasn't allowed to take any time off of work to deal with this, so I had to let someone in my home while I was at work, and I couldn't be there when my cat was put down. I was, by the way, medicated this whole time, heavily medicated. I mean, I was on Klonopin. They wanted me to take 2 to 3 Klonopin every day, and I was on like Lexapro as well. I gained 30 pounds in 6 months on this medication. My feelings, not only were they numbed by the medication, but I just did not let anyone know what was going on. That week that happened was when I started this channel. Those videos you see where I'm doing like the sun or the ascendant videos, which are my most viewed, I cringe when I watch those videos. I was so medicated, and I had to take my medication in the morning before work. So I was like just feeling the impact of it when I was doing those videos. I don't know. I hate seeing them. I can't watch them. So then in April, just a couple months later, I was so close to being off of that probationary period at my job, and I was like, you know, I'm almost there, I've almost made it, I can't believe I've made it this far, going on my 8th year with this company, and they fired me 2 weeks before I made it. That was the end, and it was extremely traumatic, and I was cut off from the community I had been in for 8 years, which was the most traumatic part. That was all within the first, 9 months are we talking, of my Scorpio moon progression. After that, I attempted to create my own astrology business, and I gave it a year and it failed. After that, I started very seriously looking for another job in my field. It took about 6 months, but I got one, and it's a very good job and I love it. For the entire Scorpio moon progression, I was not in a relationship. I didn't date anyone. So I was like in a 2.5 year dry spell. Like, it was nobody, and I was not letting anyone into my personal life. I was very poor and I was terrified, and I just had to tell myself every day, you have enough food for today. You have enough money to pay the bills this week. And I just had to like trust every week that something would happen, that I would be okay. And I was. But it really showed me what was important in life. I was grateful for whatever I had, because I just didn't know how long I would have certain things for. I'm still here, I'm still alive, I'm still doing astrology videos for you guys, so it's all good. That was my Scorpio moon experience, and if you want to share yours, please do in the comments. If you have any questions or anything, just let me know. Thanks for watching and subscribing and liking. You guys are the best. Love you. Bye.